Welcome to Man About Danville with Logan H. Gurman, a podcast for Danville, Kentucky and beyond. Conversations with friends, and you get to listen. Brought to you by the Logan Company, a commercial and residential real estate brokerage for Danville and Central Kentucky. 80% Danville-centric, 20% eccentric.
Good morning, Danville, Kentucky. Welcome to Man About Danville. I am the man about Danville himself, Logan H. Gurman, and you are listening to the most influential and fastest growing podcast for Danville, Boyle County, the Bluegrass region, and the entire Commonwealth of Kentucky. Thank you so very much for joining me, whether you're listening here in Danville or especially Perryville this week, or Junction City, or especially down on the Fork, Lancaster, Liberty, Dunnville, Lexington, Louisville, Indy, Seattle, Portland, Atlanta, Denver, New York City, Nashville, Chattanooga, Memphis, Little Rock, the Palm Beaches, or I've got some new listeners in Henderson and Corbin, Kentucky. Thanks for tuning in. I consider it a real honor and privilege that you choose to spend part of your day with me. By the way, special shout out this week to the Man About Danville Listener of the Week, Marie T. Marie, we hope that you are feeling well, and we hope that your situation is improving, and we miss seeing you where we usually see you. So shout out to her, Marie T., the Listener of the Week. We hope to see you soon back where we're used to seeing you around. This week, doing something a little different. It is fall. The weather is nearly ideal. It's a beautiful time to be outside, driving around, checking things out. And we've got a couple of festivals going on in the local area here coming up. We've got Lisa Bottom. She will be talking to me about the Perryville Commemoration that's going on the first weekend of October. Matthew Ellis is the second part of the show, and he'll be talking to us about the Forkland Festival that's happening the second weekend of October. So if you don't know what you're doing for the next couple of weekends, stick around. I've got some great ideas for you. If you enjoy this podcast, I hope you would consider giving it a like or a review or a rating wherever you listen. There should be a little button. There should also be a share button. If you would share it with your friends and neighbors, I'd appreciate that. Be sure to tag me so I can see it, and thank you personally. All this helps me grow the show and share it with more folks. So without further ado, today I've got with me Lisa Bottom. Lisa, thank you for being with me.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Lisa, I know you from your day job. What exactly is it you do during the day?
I am a vice president for Farmers National Bank, market manager in the Perryville office, lender.
Right there on Perryville Road. And how long have you been running the show down there?
About 35 years.
About 30. You remember me back when my summer job was running nickels to the Perryville branch. I'd come down with a sack of nickels from the main branch.
I do. We always enjoyed seeing you too.
Yeah, that was near the height of my banking career. But anyway, I wanted to talk to you about what's going on in Perryville this weekend, October 1st and 2nd. So could you fill us in?
Okay, I will. On October 1st, that's on Friday, we will have our biggest event that day is the Taste of 1862, which is a dinner. A lot of the food is from that time period, and it helps us to raise money for restoration of the buildings here in Perryville. We also have a silent auction with that, and we do have a few tickets left. They're $25 a piece, and they can be purchased at our information booth that for the first that day. Down in Perryville at the footbridge on 3rd Street.
All right. So this is the Battle of Perryville Commemoration?
It is.
Are they going to be doing a reenactment this year?
Well, they're not doing a reenactment at the battlefield this year, but we have some soldiers that'll be in town, and they're planning on doing some kind of little skirmish, but we don't know exactly what time. So that's just kind of left up to them when they get here, and they'll let us know. We'll just kind of run through town and try to tell everybody, but they will be doing some demonstrating of how to use the weapons that they had back then, the rifles and that kind of stuff, the artillery. So they'll be showing that. So often on that day, on Saturday, they'll have all of that stuff. So if you go over on Merchants Row, historic Merchants Row, that's where all that stuff's going to be held. Behind the Carrick Parks House, there'll be encampment. And then there's called an agricultural social fair going on where they'll have a magician. And they have all kinds of vegetables and things that they would have had back then and displaying them, that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of, that period stuff going on.
Can anyone just show up on Friday or Saturday?
Oh, yeah. Anybody welcome. We're excited. We will have our craft booths and vendor booths, food booths. Will be open all day on Friday. And then on Saturday, we have a parade at 11. And then we will have a 5K race. I forgot about that. That's it. The Johnny Coconaire Memorial 5K race. That's in front of the Perryville Baptist Church, and you can sign up starting at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Is the race going to be in the morning, Saturday morning?
Yes, it starts at 8, but for sign up, if you want to get there, you need to get there around 7 to start your sign up if you have not signed up. All of those funds go to the Fraternal Order of Police Unit 69, and they use that money to do Shop with the Cop with all of our law enforcement. So that's a big fundraiser in Johnny's memory.
So that's where the police can take kids that are disadvantaged to go shopping for Christmas presents for themselves and for their families.
Yes, and they normally take them out for a meal. I think last year because of COVID, they had everything at the showroom out on the bypass, and they had pizza so they could spread out. And I feel like that's probably what they'll do again this year with COVID.
Okay, so. But the race, the Johnny Coconaire 5K supports Shop with the Cop.
It sure does.
Okay. Let's say I had the family loaded up in the family truckster and we were headed to Perryville on Friday. What time do I want to get there, and where do I want to go, and where do I want to park, and where's everything going to be set up?
Okay. On Friday, everything will probably start to open around noon because the vendors are still coming in about that time. So I would come at around noon to have lunch, just sit and enjoy yourself, and then go to the shops, look at the older buildings that we've fixed, and then you'll be able to shop with the vendors that are in town. We have two petting zoos. We have the Oleka Shriners out of Lexington's bringing their train, and they'll do train rides for the children all day long, and that helps the Shriners. We don't get any of that money. That goes straight to them, and we're excited to be able to do that for them. And then you can go out to the Perryville Battlefield and you can tour it. There's a lot of stuff to see. If you love wildlife, you'll be able to see all kinds of wildlife out there. And their museum will be open as well. So, we try to get people to come in and go to the battlefield itself too, as well, because not only did it all happen at the battlefield, it happened down in town. So we're all on battlefield ground as far as the Civil War was.
What about food and beverage for folks?
We have Mexican booths. We have an Indian booth. We have the Perryville Lions Club. We have a barbecue booth, and our Boyle County Band Boosters will be there. And then we have another snack booth that's going to be over in Barrel Park itself along Merchants Row. And then we do have our Salted Honey Cafe that is going to be here. You will be able to obtain alcohol from the cafe and in their beer garden outside as well. So there's picnic tables and that kind of stuff sitting there. And then, like I said, on Friday night, 6:30 is the Taste of 1862. We also will have an auction.
Is the Taste of 1862, is that sold out yet?
It is not sold out. We do still have some tickets. You can purchase them by calling me at 859-332-7626.
Say the number one more time.
859-332-7626.
And ask for you, Lisa Bottom. You got the tickets. Yeah. And how much are they?
They are $25 a piece.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. What else?
Menu? You want the menu?
Oh, yeah. Hit me up.
Yeah. Okay. Our menu consists of corn chowder with cornbread. That's for starters. And then we have, for the main meal, we have country ham and turkey. We have dressing, cornbread dressing with gravy, new buttered potatoes from the garden, and green beans, and a roll. And then for dessert, we're having bread pudding with bourbon sauce. So
is Chaplain River Catering handling all this?
We are volunteering our time, yes. Chaplain River Catering. Mm-hmm.
I'm familiar with Chaplain River Catering. They do a good job.
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate that.
And that's kind of an historically accurate menu.
Yes, because, they preserved the ham, and then, of course, they killed wild turkeys then. So our turkey's not wild that we know of. Anyway, of course, they had the garden vegetables, which were potatoes, and they had green beans. And, of course, they made bread, which is ours. I said roll, but it's going to be bread. And so, yeah, like sausage and that kind of stuff is in the corn chowder and corn and basically stuff that was all cooked back then that we still enjoy today.
And where's that dinner going to be?
It is at the Perryville Jamboree. If you come to the first stoplight in Perryville coming from 150, you'll take a right, and it's the big beige warehouse on the left.
All right. Hey, is the bridge open?
The bridge, they're working on cleaning it off right now, and they're going to move the barriers over as far as they can and should have 2 lanes tomorrow.
Okay. Well, good. That's good news. It may not be finished, but they're going to have 2 lanes of traffic operating for the bridge this weekend.
That's the plan, unless some disaster happens today.
That can always happen, but that's nice of them to work with you on it anyway.
Yeah, it is. It's great. Yeah, we look forward to it being open all the time.
All right. Awesome. Anything else, Lisa?
No, sir. We just want you to come out, enjoy yourself, have a good time. We do have lots of music. I didn't mention that. We do lots of music this year. It will be held on the lawn beside the Walden Funeral Home in Perryville. There's a big vacant lot there, so it'll be there. Just bring your lawn chairs, and there's also a beauty pageant if you haven't signed up for that.
Is there a category for 50-year-old men and up?
Yes. I'm just teasing.
That'd be mean if I just showed up and won the whole thing. But anyway, all right. So there will be Miss Perryville Battlefield.
Yes, and it will be at the new Magnolia Manor, which is the new venue that's getting ready to open here in Perryville.
Is that on Merchants Row?
It is, just down past all the older buildings on Merchants Row. It's a older, smaller mansion that sits back there. It's called Magnolia Manor. And it's on the right, so it's just right past 5th Street on the right. You can't miss it. You'll see it. It's a beautiful home.
All right. What time is that, the pageant?
The pageant starts at, let me look. I think it starts at 1, but
right.
I can't remember that one right off the top of my head.
Sometime 1 o'clock, you think around 1 o'clock Saturday afternoon. And when is the music going to be going on?
The music will be going on Friday night, all day Saturday, and Saturday evening. And then on Sunday, they're going to have a community church service that will be held at the Perryville Methodist Church, which is right on 2nd Street across from Mr. Miser's in their parking lot. If it's raining, it'll be inside, and then they'll have music afterwards, and then everything will start to shut down right after that.
Okay. Well, it looks like you're going to have great weather for all this too.
Yeah, we're excited.
All right.
We're excited.
All right. Well, that's all I need to know, Lisa. Thanks so much for sharing it with me.
Thank you, Logan. Thanks for having me.
Okay. Talk to you soon. Bye now. Now we're going to shift gears here for the second part of the show and talk about the 50th anniversary edition of the Forkland Festival. I am pleased to be joined by Matthew Ellis. Matthew, what's your title with the Forkland Festival? Are you head honcho or?
I am the president of the community center. However, we have so many volunteers that is just a title, and that's about as far as it goes.
Well, the Forkland Community Center is going to be the epicenter of the Forkland Festival that's coming up October 7th and 8th?
8th and 9th.
It's October 8th and 9th. Give us the history of the festival.
Okay. The community, we really pride ourselves on our building and our facility. Years ago, there needed to be a school in that community, so the members of the community voted a tax on themselves to build a school there. And then once it ceased becoming having students in a school, the community went back together and bought it again from the Boyle County School Board. So we always pride ourselves in saying that we bought the building twice. But this will be our 50th anniversary of our Fall Festival. We have the distinction of being the only heritage festival in the state. And again, it's our 50th year, so it's a really big year for us. We've always done an old-fashioned bean supper and a drama. The drama was based on events that happened in years past. However, we are not doing that this year because of COVID and other restrictions. We thought it would be best not to do that. However, we're doing all of our family history, all of our food booths. Our vendors will be there, from a petting zoo to candle making to We have a gentleman bringing in an old steam engine that's going to thresh corn and make cornmeal to lye soap. A lot of demonstrations. We have a blacksmith. We have a lady with some really strong Indian heritage that will be setting up an authentic teepee. And then a ton of food vendors, crafts. We're going to do a car show on Saturday. And all this, you get into all this for $3 admission to the gate. But one thing that I pride myself on, as well as all of our members, we have just an unbelievable community buy-in for our festival. Everyone that has ties, whether their grandparents or their parents went to Forkland or from the Forkland community, everyone comes back for that second weekend in October to be a part of our festival. And that's something that we really pride ourselves in, just because of the amount of people that always come back and always want to donate and support our community center. And this is our main event for the upkeep of our building. We have a 19,000 square foot building with a gymnasium as well. So, and we rent those out for weddings and other events, but this is our main fundraiser, and just a way to preserve the community center and our history for future generations as well.
So when do things get kicked off on Friday?
They're going to start at about 10 o'clock on Friday. We'll have different groups performing live music throughout the day on Friday. Saturday, our kickoff is early Saturday morning at daylight. We have a 4K race, which is kind of unique. Everybody runs a 5K. This is a 4K race. But after you run this, you're probably going to feel like you ran a 10K or a half. It is on gravel roads. It's across streams. It's uphill. It's downhill. It's a pretty aggressive route. And that's our Fox and Hound race. But the highlight of that race, if you compete in that race, not only do you get a T-shirt, but you get all-you-can-eat pancakes and sausage. So.
That's a pretty good incentive.
It is. So I'm big about getting the shirt and eating the pancakes. I let my wife do the running.
So it's more like a cross-country race than on pavement.
It is. Yeah, it's more like it's almost an obstacle course. It's not an obstacle course, but right off the bat, the first 300 yards has about a 400 feet elevation change on you. It's straight uphill. So it's a unique race to say the least. But that'll get us kicked off on Saturday morning early, and then we have the pancake breakfast for people that don't want to race, which there are several of us out there that don't want to attempt that. And then throughout the day, then we have our car show starts at noon, I think, on Saturday, and then about 4 or 5 we'll present the trophies and the winners of that. We're going to do at 4 o'clock on Saturday, we're having a class reunion, and it's not any specific class that graduated from Forkland High School, but it's anyone that attended class, whether you went to just first grade there or you graduated from Forkland High School. We're having a reunion for all those people. I think I have a sister that she was in second grade when the schools were consolidated. My sister is, let's just say she's like 59 and 7/8. So that gives you an idea of the age group of the youngest that we have. And then at 7 o'clock on Saturday night, we're going to have a presentation for our volunteers throughout the year. And then we're going to end the night with a really good group called Cadillac Tractor. They're going to come in and play music for us to round out the night on Saturday night.
Now, is there going to be a bean supper Saturday night?
We are going to serve beans there on the ground in our concession stand, but we're not going to have the traditional bean supper that we've had in the past.
So not inside, not with tables and okay.
Correct.
Do you know when the Forkland School was opened? Do you know the years?
It was opened in 36. I think that is right. 33. Excuse me, 33. My grandfather was the first graduating class of the Forkland School in 1933.
And then closed down sometime in the 70s?
It was 69, I think,
okay.
Was the first year. I think that was 69 may have been the first graduating class at Boyle County High School. So maybe 2 years later when they consolidated the primary grades. So, yeah, early 70s. We actually bought it in 71, so this is our 50th year.
So if I'm coming from the big city of Danville, how do I get down to the Forkland Community Center?
take Highway 34 by Go Chevrolet, take it all the way into Parksville. You'll turn left on 1822, which will take you over the knob.
Over Parksville Knob?
Yes, and then you'll turn right on Highway 37 and just keep going. You can't miss it. And I tell you, the leaves are really starting to just now turn. So, by next week, we're going to have some color. So it's going to be a beautiful drive anyway. The weather looks great for us, so we're really excited about that.
Well, I know you're excited about having the event after the mess that was last year with everybody, and I know everybody looks forward to getting back together. I know my friend Cindy Pike is a big fan of the.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
she rings the bell often and loudly for Forkland.
Well, I appreciate that. I tell you, we often feel like that western part of Boyle County that we're forgotten in the Forkland area. But there's a big part of us that really appreciate that we're out kind of on our own out in that area, and just look forward to everybody coming out. It's truly a special place with the Knob Land and the North Rolling Fork River. I mean, it's just a beautiful drive through there anytime, but October is especially, that's really special to us because of the season. And, we're really proud of the building and being able to keep everything up. And, people like Cindy Pike, Cindy's father, did pony rides at the first festival 50 years ago. So it's been ingrained in her, to say the least.
Well, I know there's so many people that have so many fond memories and so much pride of place being from Forkland, and I'm glad you are getting to have the event this year. Anything else you want to tell us?
No, we just, we appreciate you and what you do and keeping everyone abreast with what's going on in Danville and Boyle County. And, we just thank you so much for this opportunity and the venue that you have and those people that you reach. It's always good to, I travel with my jobs, any bit of home that I can get, and we just appreciate you for doing what you do.
Well, I'm glad to do it. You may want to get a couple of extra, guys out there directing traffic once this hits. It's going to really blow the event up. And what time is that? The Fox and the Hound? Is it the Fox and the Hound or the Fox and the Hare?
The Fox and the Hound.
Okay. And what time is that taking off?
That is at 7 a.m. They can go to ForklandCommunityCenter.org.
Okay. Let's say that again. ForklandCommunityCenter.org.
Yes, and pull any of that up. They can register for the race online. They can do and look at our upcoming events as well. So, but any of that you'll be able to find that online.
All right. So that website ought to have all the information about everything and the schedule and all that.
Yes, it'll all be there.
Okay. All right. Well, Matthew, that's all my questions. I look forward to seeing you. I'm probably, don't save me a spot at the start line, but I'll look forward to pancakes.
All right. Sounds good, Logan.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
All right. I'd like to thank my guests, Lisa Bottom and Matthew Ellis, for joining me this week. I'll try to get links up to everything in the show notes. The ForklandCommunityCenter.org website, that website isn't spelled out all the way, so be sure to check the website or check the show notes for the exact spelling there. You want to get in touch with me to either talk about the show or real estate? Send me an email, ManAboutDanville@gmail.com. You can find me on my website, ManAboutDanville.com. You can follow me on Instagram at ManAboutDanville. The Twitter handle is at ManDanville, all one word there. Facebook page, ManAboutDanville. You can find me on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and just about anywhere else you listen. You can even use your Amazon Echo device to listen. Just say, hey, Alexa, play the podcast, Man About Danville. Of course, you've been demanding it, and I have delivered. I also have a YouTube channel where you can just see a delightful still picture of me as you listen to the podcast if you want to check me out on YouTube. If you have a moment, hit the subscribe or like button wherever you listen and give me a review or a rating. I really appreciate those. Until next time, be well. Have a good weekend. Thanks so much for listening.
That's it. We're out. Thanks so much for listening. We really appreciate it. Subscribe to Man About Danville wherever you access your favorite podcasts, and be sure to tell your friends about us. You've been listening to Man About Danville with Logan H. Gurman, brought to you by the Logan Company, a commercial and residential real estate brokerage for Danville and Central Kentucky. Know someone who would be a good guest? Want to be a guest yourself? Have an idea for the show? Get in touch with us. Find all our contact information on the web at ManAboutDanville.com. Thanks for joining us.